This was my bearded dragon 6 months ago, and this is him today. So about a year ago, I obtained two bearded dragons from an amazing breeder near me. I had, of course, Garmadon, which is our red leatherback bearded dragon, and then we got Max. I'm still not super sure of his morph, but Max is a very interactive, very out there bearded dragon. He does a lot. He's always active in his enclosure. He's always hunting for food. Unlike Garmadon is naturally just like an old lady who she's just chilling all the time. But about 6 months into owning these bearded dragons, I noticed that Max was becoming so inactive and basically doing nothing. He randomly just stopped popping out and stopped hunting for food. He would stop coming out of his hides and, exploring his enclosure. He just became so inactive, and I was deeply concerned about him for quite some time. At one point, he was in his hide for about 2 weeks, and I did not know what was going on. I've never experienced this with a bearded dragon, so just like any other, respectful reptile keeper, I did my research. I was searching the internet, I was searching Facebook groups or Reddit groups, finding any information I can from breeders, keepers, just to figure out what was going on with my animal. And it wasn't until my black and white Tegu Marty started experiencing the same symptoms when I figured out what was happening. They were going into brumation. So if you don't know what brumation is, it's basically hibernation for reptiles, where they become dormant for the winter and they kind of slow down their metabolism, stop eating as much, try to be inactive in order to survive the winter. Now, unlike hibernation, these reptiles, they'll usually wake up and kind of like snack on things or drink water periodically, but for the most part they are very dormant. They try to do nothing so they can get through the winter and just survive. But after I figured out my animals were starting to go brumation, I started taking precautions. I was trying to figure out what I needed to do and how I needed to handle it. So I basically stopped doing their lights, I cut off their heat sources, and I started kind of minimizing their enclosures and their space. This helped me with, just for one, minimizing area so I had more time to get everything ready for when they wake up. But also they weren't doing anything, and this area allowed them to come out, drink water if they needed, and just go back into hiding. In around late December, Marty started coming out of brumation. His brumation didn't last as long. He was only in brumation for probably about 3 months, while Max went to brumation around July time and just woke up literally today. It is January 5th as I'm recording this, and he has just awoken. So when they come out of brumation, I'm going to keep it very simple with them. It's almost like a quarantine period. So I minimized his enclosure again. I set up a basking spot, gave him a water bowl, some substrate, and then I gave him a food bowl as well, and also a hide just in case he decides to go back in. But I think this is the best way to do it, as now I'm able to monitor what happens to him. I was thinking about putting him on paper towels, but I'm gonna see how substrate works for right now, just because he is eating. He ate earlier today, so it's perfect. But if he ends up having any type of health issues or something just isn't right, I'm going to switch him from substrate to paper towels and treat it like a true quarantine. In this time, I'm going to be setting up his new 4x2x2 enclosure. And so about a month after he's done with his quarantine, I will set him up into his new enclosure. Same as I have kind of like Garmadon set up, where there's a couple hides, a couple basking spots, some foliage, and some live plants, since they are in bioactive enclosures. I'm gonna have his similar. Now, I'm not too sure on how the whole process after brumation works. I've worked with a few animals that have gone to brumation, but I've never worked with a bearded dragon. And to be honest, I didn't even know bearded dragons could go into brumation until this time. It is a very interesting thing to see though, as they go months without eating and very little to drink, and they still are basically perfectly fine. During the winter, I do drop my temperatures in my reptile room just to overall get a kind of like a cycle of seasons, and it does help with brumating some of my snakes, such as my hognose and my other colubrids. But all in all, I think it is a good practice to have if you're okay with doing it, because it can be a little stressful sometimes with changing the temperatures throughout the year, but this allows them to experience a true cycle of the seasons, and for some of them, it even promotes other behaviors when spring arises. But with Max being awake, I'm going to do my best to get him back to top shape He, hasn't eaten in months, so I'm gonna feed him more roaches. He ate today, so that was awesome. He had a good soak, and it's just time to get him back to where he was. But thank y'all for watching. If you did enjoy, like and subscribe. Definitely check out other videos, and I'll catch you next time.